Hello everyone, hopefully this is the second video because I hopefully managed to finish off the first one somehow and not just make it into a 7-hour feature film. Now, the reason I'm making a new video is because I finally found a mental way to split videos. I will have the first video on the base destruction. So everything, interior destruction, that's all in one video. It'll be like a chapter, almost. Second video, I haven't thought of what it's going to be, but I'm starting with replacing things. Well, fixing things, replacing things, yes. We are putting in new rollers that the door rolls on. A reason being, because the old ones are bad. Hopefully this will make the door close properly, because right now you have to like slam it, and you know, slamming is no good because vibrations, breaking, paint chipping and all that stuff. So I will be replacing 3 of the rollers and I will show you guys how it's done. Maybe if you ever have to do that, this will help you. If not, maybe it's interesting. Maybe something funny happens. I don't know, maybe. So I have 3 of the rollers. This one's the top one. I have no clue how it goes in yet, but this is the top one. This is the middle one. And I have the bottom one. This is the bottom one. Now, hopefully I don't have to take the door out to do this. I shouldn't have to. But time will tell. And I really don't want to take the door out because I have no one to help me. As always. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, without further ado, I will get the camera set up and I will show you how it's done. Well, I'll figure it out first and then I'll show you how it's done. See you then. Okay, so the first one we'll try to remove this one, which is the bottom bracket. First of all, just give it a little bit of a rub down to actually see where the bolts are. And then you have to remove this little cable. Which one? This one's broken already, which is beautiful, but just clipped in there. Tag that loose. Grab yourself a size 13 socket and go to town. Oh, maybe not. Maybe this will need some penetration fluid. Most likely it will. Yeah, that's tight. Okay, the other bolt maybe? Make sure it's clean because it does get rusty in there. Okay, that one came loose. Missed a little bit of the gimbal. Okay. Now this one. Oh, come on, please come loose. Oh, 2 for 2. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, hopefully, okay, when I undo this, the door wants to fall inwards. So we'll have to prop it up. Now, to prop it up, we've got the proper solution right here, which is an old log and a rag, as written by the Citroën instruction manual. That's how you're supposed to prop it up, by the way. There we go. Now that the old rag and that is in, should come loose. Voila. Second one comes loose. Beautiful. Now I should just be able to pull up on it. And the log is supporting the system beautifully. Something is stuck. Is it a magnet? No, it's not a magnet. So as nasty as it looks. Let's compare the old one with the new one. There's a new one. They look roughly the same. Except the roll is a bit thicker. Maybe that's just use. That's the reason this roll is worn down. Less hair in the new one. And this bracket just seems to be there to hold the cable in place. That's all that is for. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. I will get some chain lubricant for this so I can lube it up. The reason chain lubricant's really good is because it does not attract dirt, because it's not very sticky. It's meant for bicycle chains or motorcycle chains, actually bicycle chains mainly. And it's not very sticky, so it will lubricate it, but it won't make it very sticky so it doesn't get gunked up like this. And also I'll clean the channel where the roller was in. So this is the spray I was talking about. Cycling spray. Sport. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, just a cycling spray. We'll put that. And then now we will clean the channel. The channel doesn't really need to be oiled because the roller rolls along the channel. So in theory, it doesn't really need oil. The only time you would oil the channel is to prevent it from rusting. Then you would add oil to the channel as a rust prevention. Again, trying to add something that isn't too sticky so it wouldn't cause too much of a mess. Now I'm cleaning the thing that the wheel actually rides on. Just pulling along that edge with my hand. Try to get as much off as I can. It's quite oily. Okay, we got a rag this time to make this easier. All I see is grease, so not too shabby. Okay, let's see how this works. This just rides. This is such a bad design. Wait, what? Why is there metal on metal contact? That seems bizarre to me. See this piece of metal, focus, yes. This piece of metal is contacting the bottom rail the whole time. That is something I cannot comprehend. Why would that be a thing? Okay, let's try to put it back on. The fun part. So the only parts given to us were this part. So we're not replacing this old thing. It's crusty. We'll clean it a little bit, but not much we can do about that. We'll add a little bit of oil between them. I'm running out, I should get more. That oil is just there to stop the rust. I say stop, I should say prevent. So we got the bracket for the cable to go in, the roller, and 2 new nuts, which is nice. Not often you get new parts nowadays with parts, so they just expect you to have bolts on your own. More oil for rust prevention. And a little bit extra oil. Like to see rust come in through that. I mean, eventually it will, but... Oh, first I have to hook it into the rolling area. And then just put it on. Simple as that. You put 2 bolts on. Then adjustments. Adjustments depending on how close the door should be to the body of the van. Those can be done later. Maybe a little bit of oil here as well. I mean, it's not the sticky kind, so it's good. Just to prevent some rust for some time. And a little bit of tightening. Okay, and then the adjustment's simple. You would pull and push on the door. So the next thing we could tackle is this one, this big beauty beast. That is the middle of the hinge. I'll show you where that is in a sec. That is right here at the back of the door. Again, I only got the roller parts, not the actual whole assembly that attaches to the van. But that's okay. So it's got an internal hex thread, which means some adjustments will have to be made here. We'll figure out what adjustments in a bit. Okay, so the whole assembly is like so. Hooks into there, this rolls on the bottom, these small things roll on the top. And this actually helps the adjustment of the height of the door. So maybe we'll fix the bottom one by adjusting this height. We'll see in a sec. This bolt is a 19. 19. I can already feel it. Oh. It's very wobbly. Let's check from the inside why that is. So as we can see from the inside, it's held in by these bolts. These are 10 mil, and we will test to see if they are tight. One's pretty loose. Quite loose. Loosey-goosey. Okay, most of those are pretty loose, and there's actually a bolt missing here. So I will have to find a 10 mil somewhere. So I could not find a 10 mil quickly enough, so I found this. This is a 10 mil, but it's got a tip on, so you can't screw it in too deep. And to offset that, we have 2 thick washers. So we'll put the washers on, screw it in. Should be no problem. You know, they say nothing is more permanent than a temporary fix that works. So, no need to worry about that. There we go. Nice and tight, and it even looks kind of cool, right? Beautiful. Back to the outside. Now if you look at this again, it's a little bit less loose. I wouldn't say it's like rock solid, but it's better. Since we are taking apart the back, we want to support it. So again, beautiful rag, just to not scratch the paint, obviously. And same log, but this time we need a shimmy block because it's too high, right? Look how high the van is. So put the shimmy block in, get it aligned so it's nice and supported. There we go. That feels pretty supported. With that done, we can remove the bolt. I hope nothing falls. So the way this works is the hex thread I talked about earlier. You actually have to screw that out to remove the thing. So it's not just for adjustment, it's also for complete removal. So you have to keep screwing it. Wait, no, we're going down, we want to go up. Nope, up, up, up. It's out. Okay. If I could get my wrench out. There we go. Voila! Now, as you can see, time hasn't been too kind to these things. Very loose. This one's quite nice actually, but oh, sorry. This is very loose. New ones are a lot stiffer. Let's compare it to the new ones. Very little movement just in the wheel itself. Here, nice, greased, ready to go. Now, we want to lift it a little bit so the threads align, because right now the bolt's sitting a bit skewed. Got it to thread. Yes. Great success. Now we need to fully seat this nut because it's got some anti-opening thing, metal shaving things. I don't know how to explain it. It's got a thing that will stop it from opening, and you know, the door's flying off while I'm driving, so it's important to get it to that point at least. Okay, do it tight. There we go. That's not coming loose while driving. Now for the roller, I wanted to do the least, the top one. Doesn't look as fun as the rest of them, honestly. We have a different design. Okay, we will test it. Okay, the door's not going anywhere. Kind of. Stays roughly in place. Oh, we can't. Oh, we can remove that. Okay, so this is the new mechanism. I mean, the old mechanism, which is actually surprisingly solid, right? I'm considering whether I want to change it or not. The rollers are nice. I will give them a little bit of lubrication, a bit of cleanup. They have no resistance now, at all. The thing I'll try to do when putting this back on now is make it tighter, higher. So the other roller, so the bottom roller doesn't sit on the ground, doesn't scrape against this rail, and the back roller also sits straighter. Okay, I pushed it all the way up, as you can see. Hopefully that will stop the bottom from rubbing and just solve everything. I mean, that would be great, wouldn't it? Okay, let's zoom out and check the fruits of our labor. So let's remove the shim. There we go. Now, is the bottom still scraping? No. The bottom is no longer scraping. This is great news. Okay, I really want to show you this, but I don't think I can. It's too tiny, but if you look, if you observe the gap as I open the holder, you may be able to see that that metal piece is no longer touching the bottom. It is no longer scraping, which is great. All we had to do in order to fix that is just the top bit. Okay, so after readjusting every screw, I think I did it. It's pretty low effort. Now, I discovered a lot of things because I'd like to share. because it wasn't easy. So maybe it'll help someone. So let me grab the camera. Okay, so first things first. Having this upper thing here be as tight inwards as possible. Well, if it's too much inwards, as you can see there's adjustment lines, but if it's too much inwards, it will make the back of the door shut really difficult. Same with this one down here. If these screws are adjusted too much inwards, then it will be difficult for the back of the door to close, because the front will pull in harder and the back will find it difficult to shut. Another thing is look at the lines. Inspect the line, make sure it's roughly the same up, down and back here, because this line is pretty much what shows you how aligned the door is. You will probably have this sag. Let me turn it up. This will probably sag, as you can see here. It's not straight, it's sagging. That's because this and that are not eternal. They will wear down, they will sag. You'll have to make adjustments for it. At some point it's going to start rubbing down here. Then you'll need to change it, because adjustments won't fix it anymore. It's just worn down. What else? These pins here can be adjusted up and down. These pins here can be adjusted in and out, so they align when you close them. If the back doesn't shut too well, this can be adjusted inwards or outwards. If you adjust it inwards, it'll keep the door more shut. If you adjust it outwards, it'll be looser. When doing testing, it's nice to remove the weather strip, because the weather strip makes it really hard to tell why the door is not shutting. So right now, if I close the door and I test the backside by pushing on it, I can tell if there's resistance, and I can maybe approximate where the resistance is coming from. But right now there is no resistance, it just shut nicely. If there's a weather strip in there, it's really hard to test by just pressing on the door and seeing if there's resistance. Another thing, this connector here, on the inside, I will show you, it has got weather stripping, so it will have some springiness to it, as well as pins. It's got pins and weather stripping, so it will naturally be bouncy. Keep that in mind, because that could mess with your head. It did with mine. Now, I think that's all there is that I learned. Might be something else, but I don't think so. That's the main issues I've learned. I mean, you will learn as you go. It's not a difficult process, it's just tedious, and it took time. It took 4 hours for me, I think. But I will clean off these oil stains, these dirt oil stains, install the weather stripping, and I will call it a day, because it's been too long and it's getting dark and cold. So final time lapse for the day of me cleaning up and then doing the weather stripping. So alcohol wasn't the best idea to remove the alcohol stains. Oil stains, oil fingerprints. Left residue and it's just not good. So I'll wash it another day with soap and water. So I'll put in the weather strip. There's no tricks with it.
Besides maybe clean out the weather strip before you put it in, since this one's filled with some weird muck. Oh wow. Yeah, maybe I will not use this weather strip. I'll bring a different one. Here is one I made earlier. Wow, look at that. No, this is from the parts van that I have. The parts van came with this van. It was a 2-in-1 deal. Great. Perfect deal. But before installing it, maybe squeeze it a bit. If you squeeze it down a bit, what you're doing is there's a little metal piece inside the strip that provides the clamping force. When you squeeze it, that metal strip gets tightened a little bit. If it's very effective or not, I don't know. But it makes me feel better when doing it. Also, there's also gunk in this, which I assume is some sort of silicone that's used to stick it down. I can't think of anything else. Yeah, it looks like silicone. Chunks of it here. Realistically, it shouldn't need silicone to stick down. It should just be a press fit. Maybe these ones are so loose that they are no longer good. Hence why someone used silicone. We will see in a second. Okay, there's a little bit missing here, but I could fill that up if this is better than the other weather strip. Let's just see how it closes. Oh. Backside didn't close. Let's try again. The back still does not want to close. So now, I can feel a lot of resistance, which I presume is the weather stripping. If I shut it like that, which is with a lot of aggression, of course it closes, but then the panel gaps are rather large. At the front, they're almost flush, but they're not really flush. I'll do some fine tuning. After 4 hours of doing it, it still needs fine tuning. Maybe there's a lesson in that. And the lesson is, maybe have the weather stripping in when testing at some point. If you really can't find a problem, take it out. But if you don't struggle with it, then just leave it. It's getting late, guys. Let's call it a day. I don't have it in me anymore to keep going. Today. Tomorrow, different story. But today, I'll call it a day. It's been a good day. I've done one thing. Oh, before I go. Since I'm not destroying everything anymore, but I'm actually investing into the van, I will be putting the price of everything in the videos. So I'll have a pop-up and I'll keep score to see how much I've spent and how much things have cost, because I feel like that's something people worry about the most. So I will try to show that maybe it's not that expensive as people think, because most people think building out a van is 20-30k.
I don't have 4K to my name. So I have bought some things already though. I've bought a battery, which is the most expensive part, although it was only 400 bucks, 400 euros for me. So yeah, and I have 4K, or less than 4K to my name. So I will get the van done one way or another, and I'll try to keep track of how much it costs and show people that after all, maybe it's not that expensive. But these hinges, rails, rollers, they're not original obviously, so they weren't very expensive. I'll have the price up on the screen, and yeah, let's start keeping a tally of how much everything cost. That's a vital part I want to keep open, because I feel like it's interesting, and I feel like that's where I'll be different than most people. I will not be spending the amounts of money people are spending. I don't have that kind of money to be spending. So I'll have some thrifty ways to save money and some tricks, and I'll write those down and show those and talk about them more. But that's it for today. I've done what I could, and I'll see you next time. Probably in the same video, since I keep making many videos into one. Have a good one, guys.